Proud Boys received commutations instead of full pardons. That includes the founder of the Oath Keepers, Stewart Rhodes, who was released from a Maryland prison just hours after Trump's proclamation. He was serving an 18-year sentence for seditious conspiracy. Last month, I spoke with his ex-wife, Tasha Adams, who said she feared for her family's safety if Rhodes was released.
Stewart Rhodes is a very dangerous person. He's dangerous to us as his family, certainly. He's dangerous to all of America. Right now, he's regrouping and rebranding. He's writing a Substack from prison called the Oath Keeper. He's already gathering his forces.
And Tasha Adams joins us now. Tasha, tell us about the moment you learned that your ex-husband, Stewart Rhodes, would be released from prison.
I mean, like Harry Dunn said, we knew it was coming. I hoped it wouldn't be so soon. I had hoped there would be maybe some paperwork delays. That's not the way it went. It's just sort of a numb feeling, you know. It's a little bit like the calm that sort of hits you when the thing you fear most finally happens. It's sort of an uneasy calm and a numb feeling. It's not shocking, but it still punches you in the gut nonetheless.
And Tasha, are you now taking precautions now that Rhodes is out?
I am. And law enforcement has been extremely helpful. I probably call the FBI more than most people call their own mothers, just to check up and run things by them. And
you're worried. You're worried.
But I'm worried. I am worried. You know, Stewart's a very careful person in some ways about his own self-preservation. He's in this for the long game. In some ways, I'm more concerned about years from now when there's not such a spotlight on him. I also worry about his followers. They're a bit unhinged, and he does seem to be regathering and regrouping his army, you know, right now.
Do you think he poses a danger?
Yes. He's a dangerous person. He's still a convicted felon. You know, he's running around telling anyone who will listen that he's going to sue me for saying that he's dangerous. He's demonstrated that himself time and time again. He is a convicted felon. He's been convicted of seditious conspiracy against the United States, and he's out walking around drinking margaritas. I mean, it's absurd.
And did you think that Trump would go through with this? Harry Dunn was saying a few moments ago, of course he was going to do this. But there were some folks who were saying, even the new vice president was saying, well, no, anybody who's been convicted of violence is not going to be let loose. And Donald Trump defied his own vice president and went and did this. Did you think he would do this?
I mean, I guess I thought he would, but I really hoped he wouldn't. You know, I did allow a little of that emotion to creep in and thought, well, you know, he's not known for keeping his promises and he could have pardoned them before. And then I guess if you look back at it and you hear what his own vice president had said, which was, you know, we're not going to pardon the worst of them. Well, I guess he didn't really pardon them. You know, he commuted their sentences, and maybe that was the give and take they had there. Possibly, but effectively for someone like Stewart Rhodes, it's the same thing. He's a convicted felon, but it's not like he's going to go out and get a job. So it doesn't really affect him in any way.
And Rhodes, he spoke to the cameras. I'm sure you saw this or you heard about this. Let's play a little bit of that.
Any regrets?
No, I don't, because we did the right thing. We were there to protect Trump supporters from Antifa. We were there to protect and secure two permitted events on Capitol grounds where members of Congress were going to speak. The guys that went inside, they're not committing the crimes. In fact, they help people. They help the police and help the people out.
And Tasha, apparently, well, what's your response to that first?
It's just the same old Stewart. Using a sort of a faux righteous indignance and just clinging to it as his sort of armor. It's spot on for Stewart. Exactly what I expected.
And as you know, he is saying, and his lawyers have said, that he is not a danger to you and your family. One of his attorneys said there was never any allegation of threats to his wife or his children that came before the divorce court. There's simply no basis, in fact, for the allegation. A statement like this is libelous and defamatory. I'm reading some of what he said in the past. Your response to all of that?
Ridiculous. Stewart and his attorneys had fallen into this habit of claiming that there was no allegations of violence during our divorce. And this is because for years, this was a 5.5-year long divorce proceeding, the records were sealed. And he was able to say that because nobody could look at the records and see. But now anybody can look at them. And the entire divorce was about nothing but his violence. Pretty much every document filed references his violence. So simply not true.
And Tasha, I asked this of Harry, and I'm going to ask this of you, because there are some families in your position. There are some families who turned in their relatives because they were involved on January 6th. They did it for the good of the country, to protect the community from others, and from these people who are involved in the attack on the Capitol. What should be done for these kinds of families like yourself, people who went out on a limb and said, you know, these are dangerous people, don't let them out, don't do this, and yet then the president did it?
I mean, they should be protected, but, you know, can you trust your protectors under this regime? I don't know. Yeah.
You don't trust Donald Trump?
I do not trust Donald Trump. Yeah, that's a fair statement. Yeah.
All right. Well, Tasha Adams, you take care. You keep us posted how you're doing. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tasha.